Here's a shocker. It hasn't even been 48 hours, and Mamdani is realizing, you know what? It's pretty expensive to give out all of this free shit, and now he's back groveling for your money.
On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again.
You can start again. See, here's the thing. This dude raised $17 million. Where did it all go? What did you spend it on? Crack? Muslim hookers? I don't know, but New York is about to learn about the cost of communism the hard way. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. It's just a double dipple do ya. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So I don't know if there is such a thing as Muslim hookers, but if there are, I'm just saying Zoran Mamdani probably knows. Now, I want to talk about Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi says goodbye to Congress after 250,000 years.
But before we get into that, I am so excited to share some really, really great news that we have been working on over at Texas Family Project. Of course, I'm the vice president of this organization, and we work to protect children here in the state of Texas from all of this leftist indoctrination, whether it's teaching them to be good little commies, whether it's sexualizing them, whatever it is, we are over here rooting it out. Now, I tweeted about this earlier, so if you don't follow me over there, make sure to go do that. But we just learned today the law that was passed in the state of Texas several years ago, preventing drag queens and anyone else who's an adult from sexually performing in front of children, has now been upheld by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. As I said, it has been tied up in the courts for years, and we have been waiting for this moment. It is upheld. In the state of Texas, you cannot dance provocatively and sexually in front of young children. Obviously, we worked very hard to expose these all ages shows that were happening in the state of Texas. Those exposés, those videos were instrumental in the fight to prevent this from happening. I worked directly with legislators to craft the language of this bill. So this is very, very personal for me. And a lot of the things that we were talking about, I told them, you would not believe me if I didn't go to that brunch and take video. So I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to show you. And when you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it, and you're going to have to pass a law about it. And that is what they did. And of course, all of the drag queens and the pedophiles, sorry, it's kind of the same thing. They fought it in the courts for years. Well, it's not allowed anymore. All right. I just want to remind everyone what we were dealing with here in the state of Texas. Here in Texas, where everyone thinks it's so super red. No, actually, they had these all ages events all over the place in Texas. And this is the kind of shit that they were exposing to kids that is not going to happen anymore.
I need to see somebody. My pussy is burning.
You need to come in then. Huh? You need to come in.
I can't. My pussy is burning. Can I make a house call?
Hey, dog, you look hot. Is that pussy on fire?
Y'all suck the good dick for these things. Come on, titties. Look at you with your big titties, bitch. And the homosexual right there, and a couple of bottoms right over here.
Yeah, it's something that every time I go to these, I need like 10 showers and an exorcism when I return. But I did this so you didn't have to, just to make clear what they are doing, once again, what they are doing to children.
Do you find this to be age appropriate for your children?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little more, I'm not as conservative, but I mean, really, it's not any different than, I mean, Disney they have similar things. Like, it's really not that far from it.
I mean, you ever seen Bambi? Wow.
In my father's office.
Period. Honestly, like, I'm body positive.
That is pretty body
Do you
positive.
find this to be age appropriate for children?
Do I find this to be
Yeah.
age appropriate?
Yeah.
For my child, yeah.
Hello, you're reaching for my titties. Are you hungry?
Do you mind me asking how old she is?
She's 12.
12.
She knows about sex, and I mean, she doesn't see sex.
Yeah.
She kind of did at that event.
See simulated sex in the show.
she goes to school, she sees simulated sex all the time.
Like, she goes to school. She sees simulated sex all the time. Ma'am, what school are you taking your 12-year-old daughter to? I don't think that's in the curriculum. And if it is, you're proving my point. It's not appropriate for children. One of the ones that we went to, a drag brunch event in Plano, Texas, there was a dominatrix with a whip. And that was happening. And if you notice, people are like, there's no kid there. She's right behind him, right there, standing up with the orange juice. And these mentally ill liberal white women always, every single time, shove the dollar bills in the little kid's hands, force the kid to tip the drag queen, same thing. Teaching their young children stripper culture by the ripe old age of 3. Now, on top of that, you had these people trying to give away sex toys at the all ages event.
My ovaries just exploded. I want children now.
They're delicious.
They are delicious. Yeah, they are delicious.
By the way,
It is unisex.
it's unisex.
All genders.
All genders can enjoy it.
My favorite setting is number 16.
Lovely. I mean, isn't that just the wholesome content that you think that children should be exposed to? No, actually. And what else is not going to be happening are these bearded men putting on women's clothing and saying things like this.
I know there's little babies here, but close your ears. This is just a tradition that all shows normally do. So raise your glasses. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. Cheers to the ones that lick us where we paid. Yeah!
Notice they acknowledge that they know that there are children there, and yet they do it anyway because that's kind of the point. And they still say that we're not trying to groom your children. No, come on. That's crazy. That's a right-wing nutjob conspiracy theorist talking point. It's just that every time there are children, we acknowledge them in the crowd. It's just that every time there are children, we interact with them. We talk about them. We know that they're there, and we just do it anyway. And then while we're doing it, we're going to gaslight you and say that we're not actually grooming children. So there is, and those of you who are watching or who are listening on audio podcasts, I guess maybe just consider yourself lucky, grateful, maybe. They are, they're just honestly demons doing this in front of children. And again, look, you see the children in the background holding out the dollar bills. There's nothing like a little kid learning what it's like to go to the strip club before they can even wipe their own asses. You know, that is so innocent and wholesome. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what I want my child seeing. A drag queen's buttocks. That's great. So this will not be happening anymore in the state of Texas. It's not going to be happening at all. By the way, the host of that event, we've done an expose on him as well. He goes by the name Salem Moon. His real name is Kiba Walker. And they talk all the time, again, about how they're not grooming children. We're actually the crazy ones. It's so crazy because that guy, while he was saying that, was actually grooming multiple children, requesting nudes from them and all sorts of dirty shit that I'm just going to spare you from, okay? And I will link below that episode if you dare. But I just would like to just close in closing, which, by the way, I would ask that all of you please go support our work over at TexasFamilyProject.com. Obviously, all of this takes money, and we are very, very lean, and we do what we can on a lean budget. But if it's, maybe $5, maybe $10, whatever it is, please help us out over at TexasFamilyProject.com. A lot of groomers, when this bill was passed, before it got tied up in the courts, they were like, you know what? We're just going to leave. We're going to leave the state of Texas. We're not going to live here anymore. We're going to leave. You know what? Go, please leave. Go to New York, go to California, okay? Go to any of those shitholes. That's fine. Leave. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. We're going to continue the good work of protecting Texas children, and you can cry about it all you want. But let's get to another queen of sorts. Nancy Pelosi. She finally, we had reports of this earlier this week, she finally announced her retirement at the end of her term next year. And boy, that was like 250 years in the making. But now she has officially said, I'm not running for office for the 1700th time. And I thought that it would be appropriate for us to take a look back at who Nancy Pelosi really was, at what she embodied. One of my personal favorites was the time that she threw a temper tantrum. Remember this? At President Trump's 2020 State of the Union address. And she stood up there and she just ripped up his speech right there. And it definitely wasn't for the optics or anything. She just was so mad. Oh, gosh, she was so mad. She just ripped it right up. And then she held her dentures in her mouth so well, they didn't even come out at all. Like, give me a break, okay? Now, I did notice she apparently really loves ripping things up. Again, not for the theatrics at all. These are not failed theater kids who just like want to just go stand up on a stage and, rip things up and use these stupid talking points, calling people Nazis and all these types of things. No, they're not failed theater kids. They mean business, especially when Nancy Pelosi was at the No Kings protest and did this.
We're going to tear up the crown.
Wow, you did it. You did it, Nance. Wow, you really did something. I mean, President Trump was thinking about being a king, but then when he saw you rip up that crown, he got so scared and he was like, I better not risk it because Nancy Pelosi's going to come and rip up my crown. Give me a break. By the way, a little ironic that she's, talking about standing against monarchies. She's been ruling in Congress since 1987. It's almost 40 years that she's been in Congress and she wants to talk about a monarchy. That's hilarious. Okay. Also, one of my personal favorites was recently she had this. Now, I don't know if it's a combination of her medication and her vodka. I don't know if she's just losing it because she's 250 years old. I don't know what it is, but she got very, very upset when she was asked by a reporter about her role in January 6th.
Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions.
Thank you. Shut up. Shut up. No one was supposed to know about that. You shut up. Now, I will say, the biggest downside of her leaving is we're going to have to find another way to get our stock tips because remember, she's a really good guesser. Don't worry, folks. She has not been insider trading for years, for decades. She's just a really good guesser. Or Paul Pelosi. It's all him, okay? He's a really good guesser, and somehow they keep guessing correctly and placing these really good stock bets right before something really important happens that maybe Congress would be privy to, and she's made millions of dollars. And then when someone actually does an accidental act of journalism, like anyone on CNN, she gets very upset when she's asked about it.
Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
Yeah, but I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are, they are prosecuted and they go to jail.
Yes.
But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time.
That's
I'm
so
not
silly,
into it.
Jake.
My husband is.
That's
but it
my
isn't
husband's just a
anything
great
to do with
guesser.
anything insider.
Paul's just a great guesser. He says I'm not worried at all.
Give me a freaking break already. Good riddance. Good riddance. I don't want to see you kneel for BLM ever again, okay? I don't want to see any of the stupid bullshit theatrics. Look at her. She cannot get back up. I'm not sure she's getting back up, okay? Like all of the code switching, she put on this fake Southern accent while she was talking about Republicans. And in fact, let's go ahead and play that real quick.
You're people of faith. You go to church on Sunday and pray on church on Sunday and pray on people the rest of the week. What is this? What is this?
And then she was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try to turn into Jasmine Crockett, I guess.
We just go to our mantra. We ain't going back.
What?
We are not. I guess I should correct my language.
Should you? You should correct it. You should correct it.
I mean, the amount of times that she went on TV drunk as a skunk, like, it's unbelievable. And so I guess I will just leave you with this. President Trump, I think, summed up very appropriately how we should be sending Nancy Pelosi off.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country. I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible.
Show me the lie, okay? Show me the lie. 100% accurate. All right, we got to take a quick break and we will be back. We're going to be back with my congressman who is doing big things over in Congress with a bunch of do-nothing people. He's actually doing something. First, I want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So listen, Relief Factor is there for those of you, maybe you got knee pain, neck pain, back pain, whatever the case may be. Try Relief Factor. It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory and is very, very potent. It was developed by doctors who are tired of giving their patients hard drugs. They're like, we don't want to give you this. You get loopy, you can't drive, you can't operate heavy machinery. That's crazy. Try Relief Factor. It targets the inflammation in your body, which is oftentimes like that is the root cause of your pain. So you're not masking it. You're getting rid of the problem at the root. Try their 3-week quick start. It's $19.95 and 70% of the people who order that go on to keep ordering more. So the odds are in your favor. It's going to work for you. You can get that at relieffactor.com. That is relieffactor.com. So obviously one of the biggest hindrances to President Trump's second term and his agenda has been these activist judges who they did it before he was elected. They thought that they would be able to weaponize the judicial system against him to prevent him from taking office. When that didn't work, now they decided that they are just going to try to stop his agenda from taking effect, even though the American people voted resoundingly in November and said, we want the guy who's going to do all of these things. No. The judges think that they know better. And one of the worst offenders of this is Obama appointee James Boasberg. Some of his greatest hits, by the way, trying to ground the deportation flights. We were like, hey, we want to send the Mexican gangs, the rapists, the criminals, whoever they are. We want them gone if they're illegal. We want to deport them. And they were like, no, we want them here. We want the gang members here. We love Tren de Aragua. This is really sick people. He threatened to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt. He showed support for the all of these, again, criminals that were deported to El Salvador specifically, including, remember, Maryland father, everyone's favorite Maryland father. He was just a Maryland father. Conveniently, his name was Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and he was also a suspected gang member. Oops, who among us, right? Well, James Boasberg will hopefully face some legal retribution of his own because James Boasberg has been hit with articles of impeachment by Representative Brandon Gill, who filed these articles against him on Tuesday over his role in Arctic Frost. Now, if you have not heard us talk about Arctic Frost, you haven't watched enough Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. This was a coordinated effort by Joe Biden's FBI to surveil Republicans and allies of Donald Trump, including surveillance of Republican lawmakers' phones. What the hell is happening. When do we get some sort of accountability for this? Hopefully this is the first step. Joining me now is my representative, Brandon Gill, from the great state of Texas. It's good to see you, my friend. It's been too long. Why? So first tell me this, Representative. I'm going to be very formal and I'll call you Representative if I may.
Call me Brandon.
I know. I'm like, it feels weird, but so this is the second time that you've introduced this, right? What's happening? Why didn't it get any traction the first time? Where the hell are the rest of the Republicans on this?
Yeah, you're correct, and thanks for having me on. This is the second time that I've introduced articles of impeachment against Judge Boasberg. The first time was back in March of this year, which, as you mentioned, was after his ruling where he demanded that a plane full of Tren de Aragua illegal alien terrorists be turned around midair and deposited back in the United States. That was plainly a plainly unconstitutional ruling, a violation of the separation of powers, an abuse of power, and a politicization of the courts. I filed articles of impeachment against him then, and I filed articles of impeachment now. What we've learned since then is Boasberg has been involved in a lot of different things. And most recently, we're finding out about his involvement in the Arctic frost investigation, which I know you have covered a lot, where he signed non-disclosure orders demanding that cell phone carriers do not let sitting United States senators know that their phones were being monitored by the federal government. That is so egregious, such a violation of the separation of powers. It obviously warrants impeachment. And I think this time we've got a very good chance of getting these impeachment articles passed in the House.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope so, because I think one of the most frustrating things as a conservative is watching the other side constantly use the weapons that they have, constantly wield their weapons of power that they have, like impeachment. They impeached President Trump twice. If you think for 1 second they're not going to try it again if they take power, of course they will. And so they seem to understand that the powers that you have, you should absolutely wield and utilize to your advantage. And it's been so frustrating to watch Republicans. So I don't know why. Like, can you tell me why they're nervous? I don't know. It's like, guys, impeachment is a mechanism. You should use it way more often.
No, I think that you're right. Listen, Congress has constitutional oversight over district court judges like Judge Boasberg, who, by the way, is sitting out of D.C. determining what President Trump does with his foreign policy and is now signing off on non-disclosure orders to tap sitting senators' phones. I mean, this is insane, and everybody knows it. You know, I think that there's historically been some hesitancy for Congress to get involved in impeaching judges. I think maybe too much prudence in stepping into that. But this is so flagrant, such a violation of our constitutional order. It obviously, clearly warrants impeachment. And listen, if we can't impeach a federal judge for signing off on subpoenas to monitor cell phone data of sitting United States senators, then what does merit impeachment? This obviously does. And I think that we've got a lot more support for this than we did in the past, because this is dangerous. Yeah. And I think people realize that whenever you have judges who decide to take off their robes and basically use their courts as weapons of the Democrat Party against their political opposition, that's dangerous territory for the country to be in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we need to set a precedent that can never happen again. A lot of things that have happened in the last 4 or 5 years can never happen again. And they need to get that message and get it resoundingly. So obviously the government has been shut down. This is the longest in history. What are we at, 37 days? Have you heard anything? Are the Democrats going to come to the table? Are they going to finally decide that they actually care about the American people? Or are they just going to not budge and let people continue? I just saw today the FAA is now closing certain airspace and certain airports, and they're going to reduce the flights. And so obviously there are ramifications that continue to happen the longer this is shut down. Are you getting any sense that this is going to come to a close anytime soon?
You know, that remains to be seen whether Democrats are going to come to their senses. Listen, these shutdowns have real impacts. It's planes getting delayed. It's flights not being able to take off, reducing travel capacity, because we've got TSA agents and air traffic controllers who are already overworked, who have now been working for weeks without getting paid. I mean, this is impacting and hurting real Americans. And we know very clearly, because the Democrats have been very clear about what they want, is they want to give health care to illegal aliens in order to reopen the government. That's their demand. And we're saying no. We're saying we went out of our way to pass a clean continuing resolution, something Democrats have voted for multiple times, including this year, just to keep the lights on in Washington. Then we can have those policy debates, but let's keep the government open first. And Democrats said no. So I hope that they come to the table. I hope that they listen to their own party, their own moderate Democrats like Senator Fetterman. And there's been news reports of multiple other moderate Democrat senators. There's only a handful left of them, but there are a few of them who said that they'd like to get the government reopened because this is harming people.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, Brandon, let me ask you before I let you go here, what can we do to help get this particular resolution over the finish line to help get this judge impeached? And by the way, hopefully the first of many others, because I know you've been working with a couple of your counterparts to file articles of impeachment on some of these other judges who are, of course, utilizing and abusing their power as well. So what can we do? Do we email our Congress representatives? What can we do to help?
Yeah, listen, the biggest thing is get the word out and explain to people this is a judge who took it upon himself to act as an agent of the Democrat Party to not only investigate the entire really Republican and conservative political apparatus, but to sign off on non-disclosure orders that demanded that these senators didn't know that their phones were being tapped. And let me tell you, there's far more information that I think we're going to get about Judge Boasberg's involvement in Arctic frost. The information that we have right now is because of an investigation that is being led by the Senate Judiciary Committee. The House Judiciary Committee, which I serve on, is also doing its own investigation as well. I think we're going to find far, far more involvement from Judge Boasberg, but we're only at the beginning of this. And a lot of the information that we have here is from whistleblowers. It's not even from agents within the FBI themselves. So there's a whole lot more to go. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But already we found out enough information that clearly merits impeachment. So getting the word out, making sure people realize how bad things were under Joe Biden and under the left's total politicization of the Justice Department is the first step.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. I'm encouraging all of my viewers, please make sure to get the word out. This cannot happen in America. We cannot stand for it, or we don't have a republic at all. Representative Brandon Gill, every time I introduce you and say your name, I have to brag. Again, my congressman, I voted for him and I love it. You're doing great things, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See you soon. Okay. So remember, explain Arctic frost to your friends. Explain to them what a complete abuse of the system and power that was. And make sure that we demand accountability so this does not happen again. Want to thank our sponsor, PreBorn. So PreBorn is there for those of you who are, you're looking for an organization to maybe give to. You want to give this season. We are moving into the holiday season. PreBorn is the organization. Okay. I'm just telling you what PreBorn is doing is they are saving babies. I can't think of a more noble cause than saving babies. Can you? They're taking these women who are scared. They have unplanned pregnancies. If they go to Planned Parenthood, they're going to be sold a book of lies. They're going to be told it's a clump of cells. And don't worry, you'll never regret it. Just let us suck it out of you. Okay. What PreBorn is doing is something completely different. They're showing them the truth on ultrasound. These women are seeing their babies. They're hearing the heartbeat. And in that moment, that woman is twice as likely to choose life. Ultrasounds cost money, $28 to be precise. How many ultrasounds can you help with? How many babies' lives can you save? If I may, I would just suggest if you have adults in your life who you go to these holiday parties and they're like, oh my God, I have to buy a gift for my Aunt Susan. She doesn't need anything. But wouldn't she love for you to donate in her honor? And that is the gift that you can give her. Whatever you feel led to donate, please do so at preborn.com/Sara. Help us save the babies over at preborn.com/Sara. Welcome to the show. We have Blaze TV contributors, both Matthew Marsden along with Jaco Booyens. You can find him at helpjbm.org. You can find him at YouTube, Matthew D. Marsden. I have to say it with an American accent so they know that there's an R in there. Marsden. You're not allowed to. That freaks me out.
She's the only one with an American accent.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to have.
You're the minority here.
Hey, wait a second. It's my country. So if you guys have not seen my episode from yesterday, make sure you go check it out. We are talking about in the wake of Zoran Mamdani winning New York City, we decided to take it a step further and just show people how Muslims are openly discussing their plan to take over America, to outpopulate us. I mean, they are the amount of video clips that are out there that show them, it just in their own words. They're saying all of the quiet parts out loud. Nobody wants to talk about it or pay attention. New York is just the first domino to fall. And we've seen what happens in England, in the UK. We've watched it play out. The blueprint is there. It's literally happening. And now you have London's mayor who is cheering it on. He's very, very excited for a Mamdani win.
Well, there are many parallels that New York and London have, and there are many parallels that Zoran and I have. And congratulate the city of New York. They've chosen, in a bitterly contested election, hope over fear, unity over division, and I'm already experiencing the ripples of hope and happiness coming from his victory.
I'm not hopeful or happy at all, actually. And I would venture to guess, Matt, you correct me if I'm wrong, I would venture to guess that obviously importing these people in the first place is a very bad idea, but it really adds another layer to the problem when you start electing them to hold office. And then they can change laws, and then they can ignore laws, and then they can just implement their own laws. And I would have to guess that that is a step that really is dangerous.
Well, look, this is a guy that has pretty much ignored the fact that a guy was stabbed to death walking his dog last week.
Stabbed to death by whom?
By an Afghan that came over on a lorry, on a truck, should I say, on a truck.
What's a lorry?
It's a lorry.
It's a lorry.
It's a lorry.
Yeah. It's like baubles. It's like a lorry. It's a truck.
Okay.
We call them a lorry. We call them lorries, right? But he basically came into the country. Now, I heard somewhere today that actually I don't know if this is true, but this guy had apparently been arrested and then released, which makes it even worse. But I don't normally say this, right? I would never normally say this, but I urge everyone to go and look at the footage, because there's footage of this guy stabbing the guy walking the dog. Have you seen it?
You showed it to me.
It is
horrifying.
Horrifying and brutal.
I mean, just out of nowhere.
It's unbelievable. And
it's not like there was a confrontation. Wasn't
it's a profile, and it's an premeditated.
Yes.
Gonna find somebody.
That was his objective.
It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The problem is that we have here in America, and I can say this, and this is something that, and I'm sure you will agree with, as you know, we're both immigrants to this country. Jaco had it on his border in South Africa. We, in the UK had it because we were adjacent to Europe. But these are real threats. This isn't a joke.
No.
It's not some kind of like empty rhetoric what is going on. Mm-hmm. These people, what has happened is with the war on terror, that when the US and the UK went over to Afghanistan and Iraq, they dealt with Muslims over there, who, by the way, were, and I always have to say this, they were killing Muslims, right? There's been wars between the Shias and the Sunnis for years and years and years and years. What the UK has done is imported fighting age males for the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This isn't like, 6 months. I mean, even Biden, who did a fantastic job of undermining the United States by bringing at least 4 million people in, at least. But, and I've looked at the UK, I've tried to analyze it and tried to figure out why they would do it. Right? Why would you bring in people on boats, fly them in,
why would you do this if you understand that they are majority fighting age males? They're not coming over with their family. Their families are gone. So what you have is you've imported an army, and that's what you've done. You know this. You're a soldier. Like they've imported an army into the United Kingdom, and there's no way. It's not like the United States where people are armed and you can fight back. There's no way over there that they're going to fight back. Republicans have, and I've said this on the show before, they have a 4-year cycle in their brain. They don't think any further than the next election, right? Democrats think generationally, and Muslims think 1,000 years. 1,000 years. And so we need to have a serious conversation about this. You know what happened in South Africa, the chaos that happened because you went, everyone can come in, and it ended up being a disaster. And what did they revert to? Murdering people in the streets again. Oh, you know this. You know this. Oh, I've been there multiple times.
It's a fact.
We have to take this very, very seriously. And like you said, you uncovered 14 years, 2014, they said there's the footage that James O'Keefe uncovered that they were planning Mamdani 12 years ago.
Right.
Or however long.
Or a version of,
right.
and in every city. I want to say a couple things here. Yes, we have experience. Central Africa is radicalized, jihadist, 100%. Cutting heads off as we speak.
Right now, in Nigeria.
Right now, cutting Christians' heads off, okay? Stop thinking and talking America of Islam as a religion. It's not. It's a civilization. It's a full-blown civilization, not with a rhetoric or an ideology, a fully embedded belief system until the end of time. Unto what? Unto death of the infidel, according to their own book. I always say this, put the Quran on billboards and highlight all the good parts, let it speak for itself. An American woman would run for the hills when they hear how they can be abused and how Sharia law is above U.S. law. You should go to Mamdani tomorrow and say, what's higher, Sharia or the Constitution of the United States? What do you think he's going to say?
He's definitely
They're not allowed to stand in an American court. They will not stand in an American court. They will not acknowledge the Constitution. We had emergency meetings yesterday. There's meetings in my office tomorrow. You're meeting with a friend from the UK tomorrow. On the show, we'll be together. Texas is under siege because it's not an ideology. It is a belief system for a civilization, and the American civilization cannot coexist with that civilization. There's no room.
Yep.
This is not a faith, okay? This is not the other faith sects in our country aren't here to say kill all those who don't believe what we believe. It's not their belief system. It's not what's indoctrinated. And America is the country that came and said, well, there's peaceful Islam. I've had Muslims tell me, you're the guys who came up with peaceful Islam, and then you gave us an out because now we can say, well, we're not the radical ones. There's no radical Islam and peaceful Islam. It's just Islam. That's it.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before, and I've said a peaceful Muslim is not good at being Muslim. Like if you are a peaceful Muslim, you're not following your holy book at all, as it turns out. And I think that's the crux of all of this, is that you're not even sure. I guess you could say that, yeah, the peaceful ones are the ones who are not following it. Okay.
Sarah, we got young men in this country converting to Islam because of absolute fools like the Tate brothers who are telling them this is a way to take masculinity, but they don't understand Islam. It's almost like joining the Masons, okay? You don't know what you're getting into, man. Nobody's telling you, and so they converted. This week I had a guy tell me, I'm a Muslim. And I said, defend it. Defend it. I'm challenging Muslims, defend it. And he goes, do you believe in Jesus? Jesus is my Messiah. I'm like, you're not a Muslim. They'll cut your head off for that statement in the Middle East. You're not a Muslim. You're not a Christian. You're not a Muslim. You're your own deity. But they love that. There's 3 times a Muslim can lie under their law. They can lie to infiltrate. They can lie to convert you, and they can lie to further their cause.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Mamdani is literally under his law lying. Where would you ever see gays and Muslims walking together in America? But they do. They'll cut their heads off in the Middle East because they're allowed to do that to further the cause, to embed, to infiltrate, and in one day, pull a trigger, right? This is insanity. How stupid can this country be and not learn from London? Not learn from England. You can buy a church today in London for $2,000. Yeah. It's empty. Empty. They've literally driven Christians into obscurity.
Well, it's also the fact that Christians don't have strong enough leaders, to be quite honest. I mean, we've done an absolutely terrible job at leading young men, especially.
Horrible pastors.
Yep.
And you know, people go, you know, it's very, very difficult for me to see what's going on in the UK, and you see some people going, we're going to rise up. I'm like, you won't even put your real name on your Twitter handle, so don't give me this bullshit about you rising up against these people, right? It's not going to happen. And the problem is, and just going back to this, because I said it in one of the other shows, and this is towards what Jaco was saying. Up until Constantine,
that's right,
there was not an idea of the separation of religion and the government.
Right.
Constantine was the first one that said, hang on a second, you can separate these two. And that has been a Christian ideology for the rest since that point onwards, right? So when the founding fathers came along, they said that, and again, I'm not even going to go on about the Letters to the Danbury Baptist, which is often misquoted over and over and over again. But the point is, it was all done through a Christian lens, a Christian worldview. And they said, okay, we've got this Christian worldview, but what we're going to do is we're going to let you be able to worship your Christian God, and we're going to have the government as separate to that. That is not the case with other religions. And we don't understand, like people do not understand that.
No idea.
That they are completely together. And we think that with other faiths that they have the similar approach that we do, and especially the biggest idiots of all, like you alluded to, gays, who were going, gays for Palestine or whatever. It's so crazy. I mean, literally, we saw them throw in Iraq people off the top of buildings because they were gay.
Well, there were also women who I did a little Instagram reel on this. I couldn't believe it. There were women in a bar, drinking, cheering for Mamdani, Sharia law, our brother in Islam. Oh, and I'm like, you think that you'd be allowed to come to this bar and drink alcohol at this bar under Sharia law? You guys have lost your damn minds. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Zero.
None.
Zero. Like living, walking Barbie dolls, okay? Plastic and no brain cells, okay?
Yeah.
That's what our country has reverted to. And by the way, a bunch of beta Kens, that's Barbie's arm candy.
Yep.
This is one of the greatest atrocities, if I may just say it, in this country is Barbie, okay? Because they taught young men that you're an ensemble to Barbie and Barbie runs the show, okay? A bunch of beta Kens here. They're going to run cities, and they're coming for Texas. I will tell you this, Texas sheriffs are bowing up. Guys like Tan Parker and the guys, they're bowing up. It's so hard to get it back.
Yeah,
Don't give it up.
Exactly. In fact, I want to stay on this. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then I want to get back to this conversation because I think it is an important one. First, I want to thank our sponsor, Kindred Harvest Tea. So I actually was shocked, but these two gentlemen have told me that cold tea is an abomination.
It's an abomination.
I love cold. So only hot tea.
It's theft.
Of course.
It's a less than version. Right?
Really?
It's like drinking Starbucks. It's not good coffee. It's less than you could have. Why?
Yeah.
Tea comes from the Brits, right? Who also brought you all craziness. But tea should be hot.
Tea can stay.
Tea should stay hot with honey and an English scone, a beautiful, warm English scone.
I can buy that.
High tea.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
I can buy that.
A combination.
And a little bit of jam on it.
A little bit of strawberry preserve, a little strawberry
I can buy
jam,
that.
apricot.
Okay.
Come on.
So Kindred Harvest has the best teas. I think you would be very proud.
The best tea.
The best tea. It's exclusively drank in Sara Gonzales' household. Kindred Harvest. Because the greatest thing about them, I'm getting better, right?
Well, that grit you get.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah. What you might not know about teas, if you're going to the grocery store, you're buying tea, it's actually mostly made from China. They're importing it from China. And so what that means is that there's microplastics in it, there's heavy metals in it. It is not good for you. Kindred Harvest is the, sorry, Matt, American answer. Okay. Third-party lab tested, 0 microplastics, 0 heavy metals, blended and packed right here in the USA, 100% biodegradable, heat-sealed sachets, no glue, no ink. It's Maha friendly. Okay. So they've got herbal teas. They've got black tea. They've got green tea. They've got jasmine. They've got a cinnamon apple that is amazing. My son loves it. Point is, go get some tea. Go check them out over at kindredharvest.co. Use code Sara for 20% off. That is kindredharvest.co. Use code Sara for 20% off.
Yo! New York City, wake up! You got a new mayor in town! New York City is Muslim! New York City is Muslim! Allahu Akbar. You know what's crazy? All these billionaires try to stop this, bro. And you know what's crazy about this? They forgot that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in control. Mamdani.
So when I tell
we did it to ourselves.
So when I tell people America is a post-Christian nation,
yeah,
it's not a joke. We got to turn that corner really quickly.
Well, you mentioned Texas, and I do think that that is an important thing that I will not stop talking about. You have Greg Abbott's office giving $13 million worth of grants to mosques in the state of Texas.
Why?
We are doing it to ourselves. Why?
Why?
In the name of political correctness, I would assume.
I'll say this, and pun intended, he's got to roll a different way, okay?
Right.
No, I'm telling you, this dude has done a lot in Texas that's not okay.
I agree.
That open border for 19, 20 months, and all of a sudden he grows a conscience, and now there's 10 buoys in front of one family. Not enough, buddy.
I know.
Too late and $1 short.
I know.
Too late and $1 short. This is not okay because they don't give territory back.
No. And I mean, it's like we have the blueprint in the UK. We have the blueprint in Minnesota. We have the blueprint in Dearborn, Michigan,
Africa,
where they've got the 5, prayer calls or whatever on the loudspeakers in the entire city. I mean, we see what happens. And if it's happening in Texas with these, Epic City and like the Sharia compounds that they want to build, you can bet your ass it's happening all across the country. Mm-hmm. So what are you prepared to do about it?
Well, part of the issue as well, and I'm going to go back to it again because I don't want to point the finger at them all the time. I want to look at this. I want to say, well, what are Texans doing about it?
Right.
Like how often have we said that they're asleep at the wheel because they think everything's fine? They want you, by the way, and I just want to give props back to 100%. What you did against the drag queen story hour and your work on that is you've had a massive victory today.
Massive.
Nobody's there helping you. Yeah. Nobody turns up. Yeah. And I keep going on about this and people go, oh, you're moaning. No, because this is a big problem. And just because Texas is a huge state and nobody, you can live away from these issues, eventually it's going to come to you. And it used to be a thing, Jaco, where we would care about our fellow man, not just go, I'm all right, Jack, right? Let him get on with it. And it's a massive problem.
Yesterday, I will not mention this guy's name because I need him, we're working with him to wake up and actually be in the fight and not keep himself out of the fight. But a high-ranking elected official in Texas yesterday told me, when I told him the magnitude of the problem, he said, the sheriff will take care of it. And I said, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
You thinking, come on.
Yeah. Someone else will handle it.
Of course we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Right.
Show me our history of taking care of it.
Yeah.
Show me. Where's our history of taking care of it?
Our history is we just let it get worse and then go, we don't know what to do. Not anymore. There's just too much at stake. And I have children. I have skin in the game. You guys do too. We've got to change it. Thanks, guys.